Hello, everyone. Welcome back to our channel. I'm Candice.
I'm Court.
And today we are diving into why we live in a camper van stationary.
Well, it's weird, right?
At the moment. And our super exciting news to renovate a full-size school bus into a mobile hostel.
Yes, that's the plan.
That's the plan.
So we'll be telling you all about that in this video. But first, be sure to hit that subscribe button if you haven't already. And definitely hit the bell so you never miss a notification when a new video drops, which is...
Every Thursday.
Boom. Bam. So... diving on in, why the hell do we live in a van in one spot? Like, who does that? Willingly.
We do.
We do. So, it's all part of a much bigger plan.
Yeah.
So, rewinding almost 5 years ago, I had this genius, I think, idea to renovate a school bus into a mobile hostel. I'd been managing backpacker hostels for years. I always wanted to have my own, couldn't decide where to put it. And this idea popped into my head that if I could just move it, problem solved. I can still travel. I can have a dream business, all the things. And so this was a great idea, of course, but it became even better because I met Candice shortly after. And I was like, hey, what do you think about this?
And I was like, hell yeah, sign me up. When do we leave?
Pretty much were her exact
Pretty
words.
much.
I was like, amazing. Because, we had just met. And I was like, I don't know. If someone's not on board with this plan, we're going to have a tough relationship. So that was awesome. But we also found out we could combine this dream into both of our dreams, which we'll get more into at the end of this video. But
stay tuned for that.
Yes. So it's coming up in a few minutes. But what happened at that point is we had to decide, okay, like, where are we doing this plan? Like, how is this working? And I remember people were like, where are you going to build the bus? And I'm like, I have no idea. I need space, land, hopefully a workshop. And it turned out that one of my hostel guests in San Francisco, where I was living, when I told her about the idea for the bus, she was like, oh, I own 25 acres in the Santa Monica Mountains outside LA, and I have 2 workshops. And I'm like,
you don't say.
You don't fucking say.
But
so,
she did.
She did, and it took a few years, but here we are. So that got the ball rolling of this plan of like, okay, we're going to move to California. At the time, we were still long distance. I was living in SF. Candice was in Calgary, Canada. So I ended up moving to Canada while we did renovation paperwork. And that became the discussion of, okay, we're moving back to California. We know we have...
said renovation paperwork.
Oh my God.
She combined 2 things. It feels kind of like a whirlwind, so I can understand why.
Yeah.
But we did immigration paperwork
and renovations at the same time.
So we just combined them.
It was a lot. It was a lot, you guys. Oh my God. If any of you have done either of those things, you'll know that's a lot in and of itself. Together, oh my God. Yeah. So we were doing immigration paperwork and trying to decide, okay, when we get the green light with her green card to move back to California, we know we're building on this property. That's the plan. But like, where are we going to live? Like, are we going to get an apartment and drive to the property? How's it going to work? And then I had the genius idea.
Not genius.
Not so much. To live in a tent. I was like, oh, it's like so funny now.
Yeah, it is funny to you.
I thought we could just like live in a tent next to this bus we were going to be building. I'd be like, oh, just be a few months. It'll be great.
No.
First of all, thinking that she would ever want to live in a tent is hilarious now. Clearly, I didn't know her well enough then. Or just like ignored it. Second is that I thought it would take a few months to build this bus. More like a few years. Shout out if you have ever done a renovation project and it took like 19 times longer than you thought it would.
Yeah, throw that in the comments. Let us know.
Let us feel better about ourselves. Because, oh my God. Yeah. So instead of the tent plan, Candice had a much better plan.
Yeah. So she pitched that idea, and you obviously know where that went. I was like, babe, that's not happening. But I did say, I was like, well, I've myself experienced living in a van in New Zealand. I bombed around North Island with a couple Canadians that I met in Fiji. But anyway, side story. But I had a few friends that lived that in Calgary, where I lived at the time, that had camper vans. And I was like, man, we should like look at buying a camper van and renovating that. Why don't we start with a smaller project? Make sure that this bigger project is like, you know,
a good idea.
Good idea, right? Let's start there, babe. Like baby steps, you know? And then we will have a place to live while we're renovating the full-size school bus. So
that was smart on multiple levels. So thus became the idea of finding a van for us to live in. And we got super clear on what we wanted, what was important to us.
Yeah.
We wanted to be able to stand up in it all the time, not have to make the bed all the time, things like that. And we ended up in like a crazy long story for another day, manifesting the perfect van for us.
Luna.
Her name is Luna.
Her name is Luna.
We love her.
We love her dearly.
Yes. And she's beautiful now. She was her own shade of beautiful then. A very 1979 shade of yellow and orange. And yeah. So we had to do a lot of work on her. Yeah, it was crazy and it was fun.
Yeah, it was awesome, and we learned lots about each other, as you do.
I thought you were gonna say we learned a lot about like renovations. I'm like, yeah, we did.
We learned a lot about renovations
also
as well.
Each other.
A lot of patience. A lot of patience. Again, because of the length of what you think that a certain project's going to only take you so much time to execute. It takes like 3 times the length.
God.
So yeah, lots of patience, but learn lots of skills.
Yeah.
And this girl didn't even think she would ever lift a power tool, let alone use it. So I've come a long way.
It's pretty amazing.
Yeah, and now I'm building picnic tables, and you know, I don't even know who I am anymore.
She's come to the dark side.
No, it's amazing. I do actually enjoy building.
Yeah,
which are words that I never thought I would ever say, but here we are.
So fun.
Here we are. If you have aspirations to renovate a school bus, I mean, you gotta want to like get your hands dirty, right?
Yeah, 100%. And we do have a good skill set that balances each other. Like, totally. I'm a lot more of like the nitty gritty construction building. I'll do things that have blades, any kind of saw, where Candice is usually not so much on the blade. But also she's really amazing at like aesthetics and painting and decor, and like just has an eye for how things can really evolve. You know, I see something, I'm like, oh, that's really ugly and dirty, we should make it better. But then I like can't always see what that would be. Yeah, and you're like, this is how we can do it. Yeah.
Totally.
So that worked really well for the van, and it will work hopefully really well for the bus, which will be a much bigger project.
For sure.
Yeah, so we renovated Luna. We moved into her, and we came to California. We literally moved in and left the next day. Yeah. Last day possible on our apartment lease. And we did a crazy journey in the middle of winter to Canada, or to California from Canada. Yeah. And we arrived here about 1.5 years ago to the property. And why we're stationary is that the first year we really just wanted to get grounded. Would you say? Like just...
Yeah, I mean, we were focusing on building our businesses and, you know, establishing ourselves here. And so that took some time.
Yeah.
And, you know, we've been working on building our outdoor space, and, you know, it's been fun. Like, even though we are living a van life, I was going to say minimalish life, because that's ish. We do have stuff in storage because we love festivals and camping and snowboarding and
surfing,
like, and anything like biking. Oh my goodness. So we have like things that we really enjoy. So we do have a storage unit in town, and we also have we built a shed, and that is now acting as our walk-in closet, which was a game changer.
Yeah. We put carpet in it, and a dresser and a mirror and shelving. Like, it literally looks like a walk-in closet when you open it. People are like, whoa. Like,
we'll give you a tour of it one of these days. We'll give you a tour of, like, you know, our whole setup for sure. So stay tuned for that. But yeah, so it just took some time for us to ground and get comfortable. And then COVID hit.
Fucking Rona, man. The Rona came.
Still here.
We're still in it. But our plans were initially for 2020 to start traveling in Luna. And then COVID hit and everything was kind of crazy. And So that got put on hold, but that's what we're working towards now for the second half of 2020 is to start taking, weekend trips and just different trips with Luna. But our goal is really a little bit different than like permanent van lifers or like full-time van lifers, is we really want to have a home base and to travel nomadically off and on from that. I've been nomadic many times in my life, like full on, and it can be great, but like we're both at the point where we want grounded community with the ability to travel. And that's what we're...
Yeah, and the bus itself, when we purchased it at the end of the year, I mean, it's going to be like a pretty full-on project, as you can imagine, for at least a year and a half. 2 years.
Because we're still
Might be still ambitious, but either way... We're living here permanently, but we want to be able to travel and adventure.
Yeah, totally.
So, yeah.
And, some people convert things faster than that, and that's amazing. But we're also running 2 businesses. Like, we each have businesses on top of that, so it's like we're being okay with the timeline that we're on and being okay that, like, we're stationary and not moving all the time. Or once we start moving, it's not full time and just, like... We've always said we choose like our own adventure of van life or our own flavor of van life, do it our way, which is really important. So, our goal is not only to travel in Luna coming up off and on, but as she said, to buy a bus by the end of the year. Yeah. So, for those who don't know much about our bus plans, if you haven't been following us till now, do you want to tell them a little bit about this bus idea and what's happening?
Yeah, I mean, well, as we mentioned at the beginning, it's going to be called the Wonder Bus, and it's a hostel, a mobile hostel that we're quite not sure of all the details yet. It may end up being like pop-up or mobile, as in like, consistently traveling. But we want to offer all sorts of different kinds of itineraries will differ, but like an experience where you're going to get, I'm a yoga therapist. And so I want to integrate, yoga and meditation and, we're big outdoor activists.
She's also a snowboard instructor. Super hot.
Yeah, I've been teaching that for like 15 plus years. And so we want to kind of do a little surf, little snow. We'll link up with different teachers that can, help to host various different experience for our guests. Really, it's limitless. So yeah, it's gonna be like we're very passionate about sustainability, and so we really and intentional living, and so we really want to link up with sustainable communities as well. So there's like an educational piece for people that really are, maybe don't have the ability to live that kind of lifestyle, but are interested in immersing themselves in it. So
yeah, and we want to like offer meals as well, and we'd love to hook up with local farmers markets wherever we are, so we can say like, hey, this food actually came from like this local farm, and just have those kind of connections. And like she said, it may be a pop-up hostel where we just go place to place. We may have guests travel with us. That may differ from time to time, like lots of ideas in the works. So sometimes people ask us questions about like, well, how will it work? And we're like, we don't totally know yet. Like, we've got a lot of options we're exploring.
Totally.
But that being said, please put your questions in the comments if you do have them, because we've probably thought of it already and have an answer for you of some kind. Or it'll give us a great thing to think about.
Totally.
So, yeah. And as far as how the bus will look on the inside, as a quick overview, we'll have a private room in the back for us, and then it'll have 2 triple bunks, so 6 people will be able to stay as guests. We'll have a shower, a toilet, a kitchen, rooftop deck area. Like, it's going to be pretty ballin'. Yeah. It's going to be decked out. So
you'll have to stay along for the ride, because as you can imagine, with any project, it morphs, it shifts, it changes.
Yeah.
That's what our vision is right now. And, but it's exciting because we are open to seeing how that ends up shifting, how it ends up. What's the word? How it goes.
How it flows.
How it flows.
How it goes and how it flows.
Just that. Yeah. Taking action towards our dreams, and also kind of just allowing ourselves to detach from everything, being a certain way. Yeah. So there's a healthy balance of both.
which is important in a renovation project in and of itself.
Yeah.
And important in life.
In life.
Completely.
Great
so.
life lesson right there.
Yes.
You're welcome.
You heard it here first. Not at
Not
all.
at all. You've never heard that before?
Yeah, what?
What? Huh?
So be sure to hit that subscribe button if you want to be along for the ride. Literally. And definitely, if you enjoyed this video, give us that thumbs up before you head out. And we will see you next Thursday.
Bye.
Bye.